So this morning I saw something that really caught my eye. It was about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask combined into some sort of double pack. But instead of being a double pack, it was more like these games would be linked. Now, this comes at a very great time because we know that it's the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda next year. Now, what exactly could they add for this anniversary, this special little anniversary? Could it be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, The Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds? But now we're looking at The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. These are some of the most classic games that you can play, or 3D games, which honestly is maybe a good thing in where they want to take this special little anniversary. Because we know Nintendo wants to always do the greatest thing possible for their anniversary. Like if you just look at the 40th anniversary of Super Mario. We got the greatest games on Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2. Super Mario Galaxy 1+2. But you might just say, we already have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we already have The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. But it's not in the fullest way that you could see it. Like we already seen a remaster, the 3D version, which honestly worked very well. But this was interesting to me because it was like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask were combined together. So they were linked together, a full ground up remake would change some things, make it look pretty awesome, and also have updated controls. But at the same time, these two games would be taken and there would be sort of like a barrier that would link these two games directly. So instead of going from one game to the next game, there would be a little port or a cartridge just like Mario Galaxy 1+2 is. It would be a full-blown game that takes both of these ideas and then puts it all into one game. Now, of course, it would be you play Ocarina of Time first. You get the Ocarina, you save the day, and then you move over. There would be some sort of little transition that you move over to Majora's Mask and you play that section of the game. And hopefully, just maybe they could make a game that looks like this, because who here has wanted a Legend of Zelda game that looks fully realistic? That would be awesome, and we know that the Nintendo Switch 2 is more than capable enough. Now, I don't think that we would necessarily see this on the Nintendo Switch 1, because if they really wanted to take this to the fullest extent, the Nintendo Switch 1 definitely isn't the best spot anymore. Because the Nintendo Switch 2 can handle 4K 60, it can handle ray tracing, and it can handle a bunch of different gimmicks that would make the game look even greater. And seeing as other companies are fully taking the time to release their best games, just like we recently seen Halo is going to be getting a full ground up remake for Halo Campaign Evolved, which is the original Halo game, which is arguably the best Halo game. Now, I've always liked Halo 3, but overall, this is really cool, and maybe Nintendo could just give that little nudge to seeing something like this. Because I see that one of the biggest complaints for me for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is the controls. I can never get used to the controls, and that's probably why I never actually beat the game. I just couldn't handle those controls. It was just super hard and awkward to handle, so seeing a ground up remake could easily fix those controls. That allows you to look at your character, do a 360 camera angle, which is very great and something that many Legend of Zelda fans want to see. So overall, this would be a very interesting idea for the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda as a whole, because I personally think that this is much needed for the Legend of Zelda series. But what about all the other games? Is there a possibility of seeing Twilight Princess? Now, Twilight Princess is a very big, interesting one, because Nintendo themselves are doing a whole bunch of things for that game. So does that mean that scratch Ocarina, scratch Majora's Mask, we're getting Twilight Princess? Well, of course. It doesn't necessarily mean either of these things will be coming. Nintendo could be releasing the next Legend of Zelda game, because if you look at the timeline into games that they release, so we got Hyrule Warriors that led us to Breath of the Wild, got everyone excited and ready for the next thing. We got Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity to see these two games sort of combine and come to life. But Age of Calamity also was in a way hyping us up to see the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now we're getting Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, but what's the next Legend of Zelda game? Could this be the next full-blown Legend of Zelda game, where it's going to be maybe an open world, or it's going to be more of a linear game once again. Hey, all of these things are very, very awesome, and I hope and I can't wait to see so many of these things. Like, honestly, I hope to see a lot of these Legend of Zelda games return. It's a possibility that a lot of them can return, but seeing as Nintendo's track record usually only releasing one game, it's either one or the other. This full-blown ground-up remake for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask would be cool, because judging off of the leak that we got many months ago, it was all about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time getting a full ground-up remake. If you don't remember, the shock, the spiral on the internet that day was so crazy. So many different things about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake, and honestly, that would be really, really great to see. Nintendo could easily do something like this, and I think that they will do something like this, because the 40th anniversary is a big anniversary, and we've already said that usually they like to release their best. So if you're looking at their best, a lot of Zelda fans say that Ocarina of Time is the greatest Legend of Zelda game of all time. And now, I can't say that this is true or not true, because personally, of course, as you know, I didn't beat the game, so I can't necessarily have an opinion on that. But if I were to give you an opinion on that, I wouldn't necessarily say this bad. I really like Ocarina, or not Ocarina of Time, I really like Wind Waker. But overall, all these things aside, you can easily look at it where Legend of Zelda fans are coming with this very interesting rumor, this very interesting leak. I think that is a great thing to see. It would be really, really great to see something like that. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, linked together. Maybe when you finish Ocarina of Time, when you defeat Ganon and you go back to Kid Link or something like that, the story would change just a little bit. That would link that something you run around inside of an open sunny land or something like this, and then all of a sudden the start of Majora's Mask start to happen into this Link gameplay. That would be really awesome, and honestly, there is some games that are something like this, but this would definitely be something on another level and would be very worth the price, because you get two of the most classic games remastered all into one game, mixed and mashed together for this perfect occasion. So who knows, maybe Nintendo will actually do something like this, because honestly, I found this to be a very, very interesting thing. Just maybe we can see The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask all together in one once again. Seeing the full light of day, to see the most powerful game possible, to seeing the most beautiful game possible. And it's not necessarily going to be a full one-to-one remaster, ground-up remake. No, remakes are usually something that they take the original game and they mix it into something truly special. Like, honestly, ground-up remakes. This would allow Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask to unlock infinite possibilities. Like, maybe you're going to have your weapons breaking. I mean, that would be interesting, but it's probably not going to happen, so you don't have to be worried about your weapons breaking. You can have the legendary Master Sword shooting beams or something like this. You can teleport from one end to the other instead of being a hassle to get anywhere in this game. You can have a whole bunch of things that unlock quality of life improvements, that unlock visual fidelity, that unlock infinite things. Just like I said, infinite possibilities will be happening sometime soon. Now, could it be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask linked together in some way, or is it going to be more like a sinister game like Twilight Princess going to be coming out soon? Could it be The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD or 4K, or something more like a 2D Legend of Zelda game like The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds? All of these are great possibilities, and what game do you think we're going to be seeing in 2026 for the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda? Anyways, tell me what you think about all of this in the comments section down below, and if you're not subscribed yet, consider to hit the subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it, and with that being said, I hope that you have a fantastic day, and see you in the next one.